but enough of talking about how we do the show and what we're doing the show to plug. Oh, what do you say we just do the damn thing?
Ugly ain't the half, look at you. Well, you got blue teeth and you only got 2 teeth, but I kinda like to see you smile. And it appears that over the years you've turned into a big old steaming pile. And she said, yeah, I know I ain't no supermodel. I said, you ain't a hand model, baby, but that's fine. You're pretty ugly by most people's standards, but you're all right by mine.
Oh, ladies and gents, welcome to the Justin Robert Young Show. My name is Justin Robert Young. Man, do I got a lot to talk to all of you about here today. Where do we begin? If you are only listening to this, then you will not be privy to the sight that beholds everybody watching us at twitch.tv/Justin R. Young, which is me wearing a Twitch onesie. It is because I went to Twitchcon and they were selling merch, and I didn't go. My wife went. And my wife got me a Twitch onesie because she knows that I would be a real big baby if she got one and I didn't. So she is a amazing woman, and she gets all the credit for that. Okay. So where do we begin? I think I talked to all you guys last week about being a little nervous about TwitchCon. I was very, very nervous. I had not really been to a convention in which I had nothing to do necessarily. Like, I could make my own schedule, which is unlike most cons where I at least have a couple things that I got to do throughout the weekend to, as programming. I was not booked for anything. So it was just me doing whatever the hell I wanted, which was a problem. Because, as was entirely predictable from anybody who listened to last week's show, I'm a very poor networker. I'm a terrible networker. I'm really bad. I'm bad at networking. I like talking. I like hanging out. I love making people laugh. What I am not good at is walking up to a stranger and saying, hello, I'm a stranger. Would you like to engage in a conversation with me? More specifically, would you like to engage in a conversation with me that might mutually benefit us? Because I would like to know you and you would like to know me. And then eventually one day, if there was a fortuitous business opportunity, we might know each other. And we would say, don't worry, I have that person's card. The Buck in our chat right now says that Justin was all alone in his room playing Hearthstone. Come on, guys. I was not all alone in my room playing Hearthstone. That is factually untrue. I was at the bar playing Hearthstone. I was at many bars. I would move from bar to bar depending on where eventually I needed to be or where I could meet people. I would go from one bar to another, and I would play Hearthstone, and I would not go to things, and then I would look at the panels, and I'd be like, I don't know if I need to go to a panel. I did go to a few panels. So, all right, I'm going to give you guys my gut reaction to everybody at TwitchCon. Number one, it is an amazing group of people. Like, all these people have their shit together so much. There is a tremendous misconception that people who either do play video games on the internet or want to play video games on the internet are in any way like slackers. Because literally everybody that I met, if I went out to a bar to go meet up with people that I previously knew, and only people that I previously knew because I'm terrible at networking, and people would come up to us and they would be like, here's my card. I'm a streamer. Are you a streamer? What do you stream? You want to talk about streaming? Let's stream together. I'm like, oh my God, these people have their shit together. They were all like fresh-faced, and they were all 22, and they all knew what they wanted to do in life, and they all paid their taxes on time, and they all voted early, and they all owned houses already, and they all had life insurance, and they all had a resume made already, even though they just got a job, but they also want to stream. It was amazing. I was blown away by the hustle that everybody had. It was actually awe-inspiring. It was kind of crazy. But it made me realize something. I don't know if they had maids, you guys. Oh, geez, the chat just roasted me. Roasted me on this maids thing. Hachi machi. But it kind of put a lot of things in perspective. Because as many know, longtime listeners of this show know, I'm pretty sure the first episode of the JuRY Talks show, JuRY Friday, was a Justin TV stream. I'm pretty sure. Now, there was then an intervening time in which Justin TV split off to become Twitch, and only video gaming was allowed. And we were, our passports were no longer valid. We were told you need to go to your home country. And so we left. And we went off into the woods. And now we're back. Because now Twitch has reopened the gates and are allowing more content on. So there are a lot of people, refugees, that were chased from our homeland that are now back, and we are happy to be back. But there's a little bit of a disconnect. Because, and I didn't realize this until I was there, there is a resentment. There's a resentment from people that used to be on this platform, that then this platform got massive, but we don't get credit for being here since forever. In fact, there was like a panel. Apparently, this is a regular panel where it's like, oh, streaming since JTV. And it's a bunch of old school people that we used to know on Justin TV. But they all get to be veterans. We got to start years and years after everything blew up and kind of start from scratch. And initially when we came back, there was this idea of like, well, you know, we know what we do. Twitch is just kind of another place to broadcast. And so I went to TwitchCon just kind of thinking, yeah, all right, whatever. You know, y'all broadcast, we broadcast. Cool beans, right? No. Because here's what really, really, really blew me away about TwitchCon is the community shit there is no joke. Everybody wants to see a ton of streamers. Everybody wants to go hang out with other people. Streamers want to see other streamers. And everybody organizes in certain kind of ways. Ways that we didn't initially cotton to. Because we're like, man, whatever. Whatever, city slickers. back after we got kicked off this land, we went into our own way of doing things. You ever heard a little thing called frontier medicine? You just go ahead and spit on that wound, and eventually God will take care of it. But that's not the case, man. Everybody's there. Everybody wants to meet everybody else, and there are just certain ways in which that happens. And I was unprepared for it, but it was a wake-up call. It was an absolute wake-up call, not only for, and this coincides with the fact that I'm working with my senior advisor, Tamar. I finally got her to give herself a name, so I don't got to call her a million names. My senior advisor. As we get the podcast stuff put together, the live show, again, November 18th. Bring your stickers or DIAF tokens if you got them out to Philadelphia, man, because we're going to hit the bar after that, and we are going ham. And if you got tokens, you got a free drink on old Gerbs. But, it really is something that was inspiring. I really liked it. It was a hard lesson. It was like, thinking that you were hot crap and then showing up and realizing that you were just cold piss on a paper plate. That was what it was, an experience for me. And big shout out to Twitch though, because here's a thing that happened a couple years ago. Twitch realized, well, you want to know what? People do want to do different things on this platform, aside from play video games. So we'll just open things up community by community. If the community's there and they really want it, then we will bring people on and we will whitelist certain things. Creative stuff was one of them. So cosplay, art, cooking, stuff like that. So that just came on like 2 years ago. And this year, multiple panels, a whole part of the floor was dedicated to art. That's awesome. So I'm going to put this out here right now. This is for the podcast. This is for the Twitch audience. This is for everybody. It's about time we got our say. It's about time next year that podcasting got their say. It's about time that us refugees got our say. We need to have a place at that con. And I know the way that Twitch works is you don't get it unless you ask for it. Well, guess what? I'm asking for it. I'm going to put in the work. Thank you to everybody who's on the podcast. You're like, I never watch live. Well, hey, look, if you want to, go ahead and do it. It's on every Tuesday, 4 o'clock Pacific time. That is 7 o'clock Eastern time. Right? Yeah, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Very, very, very excited to continue doing it. And I hope that not only does this continue to introduce us to more people, but we continue to expand the JuRY audience. All right. Let's go ahead and get into some of the more fun stuff. Well, we got one fun thing and then one thing that is vexing me. I have been vexed, friends. I indeed have been. I have looked out into the world and I have seen something for which befuddles me. I am Bill befuddled. It's a serious thing too. I had to talk to multiple people to see if it was cool to talk about. So it's a hot topic. But first we're going to talk about this dating trend. Because I know everybody loves the dating trend stories. So I forget who sent this in to me, but big shout out. You can always send stuff in, justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. Catfishing with a happy ending is the article in The Atlantic, written by Jeff Maish. Emma Perrier was deceived by an older man on the internet, a hoax that turned into an unbelievable love story. So this is not your typical dating trend story, right? Usually the dating trend stories are, very, very, very clickbaity. They're very when they all have names, right? They all have, we've talked about a million of them. Like submarining is the new dating trend. Ghosting is the new dating trend. Benching is the new dating trend. And all of them are just moves by sociopaths. They're just terrible behavior by terrible people that for whatever reason people love clicking on fake names because they want to guess in their head what it is. Oh, what is benching? Oh, what is benching? Oh, it's just being an asshole. Oh, okay. Well, what is ghosting? Oh, that's just kind of being an asshole too. Huh. Okay. So now we have reverse catfishing, but this is not your garden variety, right? This is a nice little Atlantic article. Let's go ahead and read. Emma Perrier spent the summer of 2015 mending a broken heart after a recent breakup. By September, the restaurant manager had grown tired of watching The Notebook alone in her apartment in Twickenham, a leafy suburb southwest of London, and decided it was time to get back out there. Despite the horror stories she'd heard about online dating, Emma, 33, downloaded a matchmaking app called Zoosk. The second O in Zoosk looks like a diamond engagement ring, which suggested that its 38 million members were seeking more than a one-night stand offered by apps like Tinder. She snapped 3 selfies that the app requires to verify her identity. Emma, who is from a volcanic city near the French Alps, not far from the source of Perrier mineral water, is petite and brunette. She found it difficult to meet men, especially since she avoided pubs and nightclubs, and worked long hours at a coffee shop in the city's financial district. Okay, yada, yada, yada. As a customer who caused Emma's heartache 2 months earlier, Connor was one of London's dashing city boys, 11-year her junior. He had telephoned her at work to ask her on a date. Hello, love. Would you like to go on a date? Apparently, I'm doing the audiobook version now, the audio play, which turned into an 8-month romance. They went night fishing for carp near her parents' home in Kent. What the fuck is up with British people? Can I ask that question? They went night fishing for carp near her parents' home in Kent, where they sat holding hands in the darkness, their lines dangling in the water. Like that's unlike any other situation that I have ever been in. It certainly is unlike any other element of my dating life. Within 8 months of my dating life, it would be like they went to the bar around the corner from his apartment, where he tried to not act like an idiot and hoped that maybe he could finger bang. Space NML says it's called carp fishing and everybody's doing it. Is this what normal British dating is like? British people, email me. JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. To raise her spirits, Emma huffed and puffed her way through a high-energy barbell class called Body Pump 4 times. How much do we need to know about this lady? Get to the fucking point. Oh, my God. As soon as her dating profile went live, Emma's phone started to beep and whistle with interest from strangers. The app allowed her to gaze at a vast assortment of suitors, like cakes in a coffee shop window, but not to interact with them until she subscribed. That evening, a private message arrived in her inbox from a dark-haired Italian man named Ronaldo Rani Skiscanula. There we go. Who looked to Emma like a high school crush, but the text was flue. Emma told me, not knowing the English word for blurred, her app was holding Ronnie's message ransom. That night, Emma FaceTimed her sister and showed her Ronnie's pictures. Oh my God, look at the guy, she giggled. Fuck, man, what the fuck is going on? According to his profile, Ronnie was a 34-year-old electrician in England's West Midlands, just 100 miles away. Guy, what the fuck? Oh my, this is why I don't want to make this political, but this is why Alex Jones exists. Right? Because who on earth, what working class person around the world, right? In England, let alone in a poorer country in Europe, let alone the rest of the world, is listening to any of this and thinking that this is anything other than the rich, fanciful overclass of the world fretting over the length of their fingernails while the gears of society crush everybody else's skulls, right? Like, how is this not the most obnoxious horse shit that has ever happened on the planet? Oh, she dated a customer at her upscale coffee shop, and they went night fishing for carp by her summer home in Kent. She texted her twin the pictures of her possible Italian paramour who lived 100 miles away. Will she subscribe to the paywalled dating app? What adventures lie within for this special little sparkle? I don't know. Maybe we can see her fretted out 4 days a week at her body pump class. Meanwhile, some motherfuckers reading this being like, I work at Tesco, bitch. I gotta work 2 jobs. I'm broke. Who the fuck has time for 4 classes at Body Pump? This is how revolutions start. I think I'm taking the entire wrong thing. This is not a dating trend. We are watching the Tinders of fucking Les Mis. All right, here we go. Let's get back to this. Emma's twin lived in France and was married with an 11-year-old daughter. The sister had gossiped on daily video calls since Emma emigrated to the United States or the United Kingdom 5 years earlier. Emma had to learn English chop chop, as the Londoners say, and now she was ready to meet somebody special. Ronnie seemed exciting, so she paid the £25, $34 subscription to Zoosk. Ronnie's message materialized. You look beautiful. A rally followed. Emma discovered that she and Ronnie were 2 lonely Europeans working blue-collar jobs. Blue-collar jobs? Working blue-collar jobs? Blue-collar jobs. Really? Really? What the fuck is happening in England? Can I ask this question? I need 1 million emails from everybody who listens to this show in England. Oh my, what the fuck? Blue collar. Oh, I can go to Body Pump 4 days a week. Blue collar. That's not, she's a restaurant manager. Restaurant managers aren't blue collar. I mean, like, what is not blue collar in England? I mean, like, I know that. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's get back to this. I think I'm reading the wrong lessons into this. Charming Ronnie, Emma discovered that she and Ronnie were 2 lonely Europeans working blue-collar jobs in England. Charming Ronnie attempted a little French, but when Emma wrote to him in Italian, she was surprised that he didn't speak it. His mother was English, Ronnie explained. His Italian father spoke English too, except when he swears. Their conversation moved from Zoosk to WhatsApp, a free messaging app. Each morning on the train to work, Emma sat glued to her iPhone. She wondered how a guy like him was interested in her. I'm very natural, Emma said. I mean, I'm nothing. I'm very simple, you know, so I was flattered. In her favorite photograph, Ronnie wore a leather jacket that made him look like a pop star. As a teenager, Emma had obsessed over the British boy band Take That, but Ronnie was the opposite of a celebrity. He was down to earth. You could easily have picked someone else, Ronnie told her one day. No, you're the only one I wanted to talk to. I paid because of you, she replied. As soon as I saw your picture, I wanted you, he wrote. Makes me happy to know that, Emma replied. When 4 red heart emojis appeared on her screen, Emma was thrilled. Unlike her ex-boyfriend, Ronnie seemed mature and attentive. Ronnie was easy on the eyes, funny and caring, but there was one problem. He did not exist. Ronnie Skitula was a fictional character created by Alan Stanley, a short, balding 53-year-old shop fitter, a decorator of retail stores. Alan lived alone in a Stratford upon Avon, the birthplace of William Shakespeare. Like one of the bard's shape-shifting character, Alan uses a disguise to fool women into romance and to prevent himself from getting hurt. His alter ego, Ronnie, was a ladies' man, charming and attractive, everything Alan was not. I was in a pretty lonely place, he told me during an emotional interview. I wasn't feeling the most attractive of people, I might say. You know, I always struggled with self-confidence. I was going through a messy separation, and I was just feeling like I needed someone to talk to. When his marriage of 22 years failed, Alan, who had an adult daughter, was devastated and found himself uninterested in the opposite sex. I had had enough, he explained. For almost a year, he allowed his decorating work to consume him. What the fuck? All right, hold on. Alan bypassed the stuff. I'm always nervous of posting pictures of myself. I don't like pictures of me. Alan had done it before, at least 5 times. He'd become online pen pals with single women from all over the world. He avoided video calls and meeting. He found the thrill of the chase electrifying with none of the awkward stuff like first dates. Emma was just another mark. Their flirty exchanges were innocent and fun. Catfishing is prevalent across the internet, he told me. Everyone does catfishing. Okay. I wonder if he had heard about the carp fishing. Let me just say this. Alan's a fucking asshole. And I don't give a shit how happy this story is going to end. I don't care if it ends with, like, they have a big falling out, and then it turns out that they have the same blood type, and he's able to, like, give her a kidney or some shit. Alan's a dick. I don't care how his last relationship ended. If what you are doing is placating your own life by pretending to be a romantic interest for women in their 20s and 30s, you're a dick. You're a real dick. You know, Bonnie Brushwood, wife of my Night Attack co-host, Brian, once told me that the cruelest thing you could possibly do would be to romantically waste the time of women in their 20s and 30s. Like, if you're not into what they're into, just let them know. And then if they are into it, then that's fine. But if you're leading them on into a false pretext, it's fucking cruel. Because there are biological things at play, right? Not only is there societal pressure, there's personal pressure. So if this motherfucker's taking a 33-year-old woman out of the game for fucking who knows how long because he wants to feel better about himself, again, we're going to read the rest of this, but I don't give a fuck what happens. That dude's a dick. D-I-C-K. You can run the hell away. You're a dick. What? You're a dick. His flirting with Emma soon progressed to small talk and in-jokes, pet names, and late-night phone calls. To Emma, his lilting West Midlands accent somehow fit perfectly with the images of the model. In October 2015, she wrote how happy she had become in meeting him. Are you not usually happy, Stinky? He asked. I am, but you changed something. They both agreed to delete the dating app. Emma constantly asked for a physical date, but was crestfallen when Ronnie made excuses. This had happened before. Alan knew how to prolong the relationship with a combination of evasion and false promises. He told Emma that decorating new shops took him all over Europe. Any free time he spent drinking whiskey with his father or on vacation with his parents' villa in Spain. Oh, this guy's a fucking asshole. This guy's a dick. Maybe one day she could stay in bedroom 3. Emma just wanted a local dinner. They only lived 100 miles apart. It's hard to keep everyone happy, Ronnie complained. Dad loves me working and wants me to keep doing better. Mom wants me to quit. She's worried about me, my health, stress. Dad thinks I handle it well. I think you need a girlfriend to look after you, said Emma before he changed the subject. All right, let's skip to the end. So, yeah, they fucking said, I love you, I love you, I love you. This guy's a dick. And, oh, my God, this picture is just like this smoldering 20-something Italian dude. And this fucking schlub, this goddamn schlub in bumfuck on Who Eats Ass, England. All right, here we go. Alan was running out of excuses. One night after the customers left Zizzy, Emma closed the restaurant with a popular baby-faced Spanish writer named Abraham. As they shut down the huge pizza oven and packed away the cutlery, Emma revealed how she longed to meet her mysterious boyfriend. Abraham listened for a while, then turned to his manager and said, "But Emma, the guy doesn't want to meet you. Maybe it's not even him." Emma insisted that they talked on the phone. Abraham said her boyfriend was probably an old man. Then he'd heard about an app that could help. He could be a psycho, he added. Emma was hurt and crestfallen. By the way, there is only one true hero in this story. There is literally only one true North Star, fucking pure white, lawful, good hero, and it is Abraham, the fucking guy who's like, dude, you're obviously an idiot, and that guy's obviously a psychopath. After Abraham left, she found herself in the restaurant looking through the window, and she watched the happy couples walking along the black cobbles of King Street. She longed for the day when Ronnie would appear at Zizzy, sweep her off her feet, and prove them all wrong. In the spring of 2016, Emma's family recommended that she cut off all communications with Ronnie. He had refused to meet her after 6 months, they said. "I didn't want to listen to him," Emma said. But one evening after work, she laid on her bed, downloaded to her iPhone app a thing called reverse image search. Bitch, that's on Google. You don't got to download an app called reverse image search. It's called Google. You upload the app. You upload the picture. You got reverse image search. Oh, my God. These people are so stupid. I am so angry. You want to know what? I thought that this was going to be a better story. I thought that this was going to be a better version of these stories. I have this to say. I am more pissed off at this story and these people than I am at any of these submarining, curbing, ghosting stories. I would rather $1.5 million of these completely fabricated for click stories than listen to a real tale of the dumbest woman on the planet and a total lunatic. In fact, now, at this point in reading this story to you guys, I am rooting desperately for them to both end up together and for them to be miserable for the rest of their lives. I am so annoyed. I am theoretically the most annoyed person. What do we need to prove this theory? Reading the rest of the story. Believe me, I was scared to use it for the first time. Fuck you! Reverse image search! I'm dead. I'm fucking dead. All right, so she figures out this thing's a lie. Oh, my God. What happened? What? Oh, here's this asshole. Look at this guy. That's who he said he looked like. That's what he looked like. Oh, my God. What a dick. What a dickhead. So Alan told her everything. Emma had a question. Was he a pervert? Alan sent a real photograph of himself. Alan asked to meet her. Okay, so she emailed the real guy and the pictures. Okay, she met the model for some reason. I'm literally just... all right, here we go. Is there a third act here? Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. Oh my God. This totally fucking turns around. Oh my God. She fucking ends up with the model. She goes to meet the model and falls in love with the model. 30 minutes later, I felt like I knew her a long time, Adam said. The spark was undeniable. She gave me the key to her apartment. Together, they discovered the city like tourists, goofing around with a selfie stick. Later, when Adam opened up his suitcase, Emma spotted the leather jacket in her favorite photograph. It felt starstruck. Adam couldn't believe his luck. His soulmate had appeared in his inbox as if by magic. My catfish became Cupid, Emma told the Daily Mirror, and now we're living happily ever after. Good. You want to know what? All right. There we go. I'm fine now. I'm fine. I don't wish ill on her. She told that guy he was a creep. Fuck him. You want to know what? Now I'm actually on the side of Emma and Adam. I hope okay, wait, geez, here. This guy has more comments. Hold on. This dickhead. These last few months have been beyond stressful, he told me. I don't think I've slept properly for 3 or 4 months now. Overwhelmed by shame, he moved to a faraway town. But even Alan felt relieved when the story ended up a comedy, not a tragedy. I think it's brilliant that Emma and Adam have met. It's almost like fate. Emma added that he no longer uses fake identities and has since met somebody special. A European lady, younger than me, younger than Emma. Oh, Jesus, brag about it, you fucknut. There's someone out there for everyone, he added. I don't consider myself to be particularly good looking. I'm not David Beckham or Tom Cruise or Adam Goozle. Who the fuck is that? Adam is chasing his acting dreams in London and says he recently auditioned for Aladdin, the original Arabian catfishing story. All right, now I hate him all again. I hope he sends just like cuckoldry videos to. I hope that they both get off. Emma and Adam get off by sending videos, and Alan has to just sit there sad. That would be my happy ending. That's the only way. That's the only way that I would think that this is a happy ending. Adam's the model's name. Okay. Jay Millius in the chat probably puts it best. Moral of the story. If you're a model, chicks will find you on the internet. The more you know. Oh, my God. All right. Let's switch gears a little bit. I got a serious question. Not dumb like these stories here. Catfish stories. I'm sure it's something that a lot of y'all have seen. Obviously, Harvey Weinstein, something that's out there in the public eye. But what's happening a lot, and it's something that's happened kind of more and more in little tremors, is this Me Too thing. Hashtag Me Too. If you're unfamiliar with it, basically it's women encouraging other women to speak out about times when they were sexually harassed, assaulted, or raped. And I am intensely for this. I have said previously on this show that I greatly encourage everybody, because it changed my mind. It changed my perspective on life when it came to women and what women deal with. It changed my experience to just ask women I trusted, what's the creepiest thing that's ever happened to you? Because the stuff that I was being told by women that I know, love, and trusted that had no reason to lie to me because I had brought it up was were things that I had never heard before, and B, were like way creepier than I expected. I was expecting maybe somebody put their hand on a butt during a photograph or something like that, right? But no, these were like rapes, like sexual assaults, like people just flashing their dicks, like stuff that if your friend told you, ha ha ha, man, I closed the door on her and I jacked off in front of her, you'd be like, what the fuck? That's fucked up, man. You shouldn't do that. Shameful acts of behavior by guys. So now this Me Too thing's happening. And I got an honest question, all right? Because I really don't know. How do you react or congratulate or show sympathy or whatever? How do you react to your friend's Me Too post? Because I don't know how to do it. My co-host on Daily Tech News Show, Sarah Lane, just wrote something on Medium. It was harrowing. She went through the gamut. In fact, I'll tell you what. Let me see if I can read just part of this for you. Because it grew. It's called Sexual Harassment. LOL, please be seated. And like it goes from when she was 7 or 8 and got cornered by an adult in the porno section. Some crazy shit when she was like 12. You know, affairs with a married man. Here was one that I found interesting. I used to wear this stupid pink t-shirt. This stupid pink t-shirt with the illustration of a cat with text under it that said Pussycat. I might as well have been wearing a shirt that said comment on my actual pussy, because that's what strange men at bars always wanted to talk about. A guy once followed me out of a bar and put his hands on me, and I was drunk getting into a cab, pre-Uber, and I just let him because I needed to go home and I didn't know what else to do. She sued a toxic boss, briefly thought about killing herself because a man left her. Where is this one? Most of my bosses have come on to me. Not all, but most. As in, more than 50% of the male bosses I've had over my entire career have come on to me. Most of the time, when whatever they've said to me was framed as a joke, and I got super good at laughing and hurling back some sort of insult to let them down, but in a way that made sure they knew I was in on the joke and still cool and not a problematic woman. Now, when I responded, I quote tweeted Sarah and I said, hey, I repeated what I said right before I talked about this. I said, listen, do yourself a favor, ask a woman you know and trust what's the creepiest thing that ever happened to him. Because that, again, that's just my experience. But I don't know. I don't know, and I asked a few women last night, like some of whom, like my wife, who posted their own stuff. Like, do you say I'm sorry? Do you say congratulations? That was a very that took stones. Do you say that you're brave? Right? Do you just stand there like a solemn, like the Indian from the litter commercials and drop a single tear? Like, I want to know the most respectful way to do stuff. Because, truth be told, I find that this is one of the few social media things that can actually do some good. I know that there was a seismic change in myself in how I understood and processed sexual assault claims as soon as I understood how prevalent things were. It changed the way that I dated people. It changed the way that I understood the hesitance of women in certain social situations. To be honest, at the moment that I realized that the hesitation that most women have in talking to, dating, walking home, staying after more than 2 drinks, right? That all became clear to me as soon as I realized that there are some scummy ass dudes doing scummy ass shit, and it is prevalent. It is out here. If you're like, why won't girls be with a nice guy like me? 'Cause of these dudes. And the answer is not becoming one of these dudes. So here's all I want to know. Is like, is there a greeting? Can I like tip my hat a certain way? I mean, is there an emoji? I think the problem here isn't anything other than this is the kind of complicated systemic issue that society has dealt with. Now, one person I talked to last night, a lady I talked to last night about this was like, well, listen, it's something that I've never really thought about because women all have the same way to react to it. I know. Me too. But I will say, even as somebody who considered himself more aware than most, I still am constantly shocked by reading these. It makes me uneasy. It makes me uneasy looking around and thinking, well, who among us? Space NML says, unfortunately, hello, I'm an ally, has next to no currency anymore because these dudes. Yeah, because those are the dudes. Those are the first dudes. The I'm an ally dudes. That's why I've never called myself an ally. We've had a few, we've had a ton of great, amazing letters and emails written by transgender folk. And I had one person say, thank you for being an ally and reading these things. And I'm like, hey, listen, I'm happy to read it. I want to get these stories out here, but you can call me an ally. I would never call myself an ally. Just because to me, that's almost the mark of a predator at this point. I would like to be judged by what I do and what I say. And so I would love to have a way to react to this, but I don't want to overextend and I don't want to do anything that, like, it's just weird. Oh, you were sexually assaulted. Congratulations. I was sexually assaulted. You're so brave. It just feels weird, doesn't it? So there we go. I mean, that's really a question. I don't really have any more to add on that. I just wanted to ask. This is a awkward situation. And I really, really, really want to just start a dialogue on it. Because here's the other thing that's weird about it. Is because I don't know, I would consider myself somebody with fairly pure intentions on this. And all I want to do is signal boost and privately let my friends know that I'm with them. And that I think that this is an important movement. But, this is the reason why, in part, why it happens. Is because people are afraid to talk about it and people don't know how to respond to it. Because really dealing with it means ripping up a lot of pissy carpet. Pissy carpet that we are all standing on. I don't know. I got a little heavy. That's not just yelling at working class people in London. Let's get into your emails. JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com is where you can write in. Again, that is JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. Put jury in the subject line. This one is called Creepy or Not Creepy. All right, it's a little long. Not as long as that Atlantic article. Here's the situation. 20-year-old boy just dropped out of college, making minimum wage, living irresponsibly, meets a 35-year-old married woman who has kids in junior high school. They meet in an online video game, and text chat quickly turns into sharing pictures and voice chat, which immediately turns sexual, just like you imagine traditional phone sex in movies. She is a 6-hour flight away, but both people want to meet each other. The boy is young and embarrassingly thirsty. Goes out on his first build your credit $300 credit card and maxes it out immediately just to buy a one-way ticket to see this woman. She gives him cash for the plane ticket back. They spend an amazing sex-fueled weekend together, practically never leaving the hotel room and order lots of room service, which she pays for. He goes back and the long-distance relationship continues for another year while the boy continues to do nothing with his life. At 22, he decides to move cross-country to be with her. She's still married with 2 kids, but the marriage is obviously failing and her husband is barely home. But yeah, still married. She gives the boy a couple $1,000 to make the trip by car with all his stuff, and the boy finds a potential roommate on Craigslist that luckily worked out. If this didn't work out, he would have been stuck thousands of miles from home with his thumb up his ass and all of his stuff in his car. So I'm just going to let everybody know who's just listening, our live chat room has all got head on hands, still creepy, still creepy. If you have to ask, then it's still creepy. Now, that's only half the story. Let's get to the other half of the story. Woman finally divorces her husband 4 years later, and the boy finally stops acting like an irresponsible little shit and grows up into a man either a year or two after that. Holds a decent job, stops living like a slob with roommates. This entire time, they've held a secret sex-fueled relationship together in secret from the world. The man at 28, woman at 43, finally introduced that they're together to their family. And there's hesitation from everybody. Man and woman date publicly for a year. Man impresses woman's parents. Man asks her father if he can propose, and the father likes that. Man proposes, and they get married, 29 and 44 years old. The rest of the extended family gets over their hesitations because the two are married now, and everyone carries on like it's normal. I'm trying to keep this anonymous, LOL. But if you think this is show-worthy, please feel free to read it. What do you think? Is the older woman creepy? Is the younger man creepy? Are both of them creepy or neither creepy? And here's my big question. If the genders are flipped, does this suddenly get much creepier? Man, I like this. I like that for whatever reason, our October is filled with creepy relationship stories. Tales from the creeps. Welcome, kiddies, for Tales from the Creeps. It's Creeptober, baby. Send your creepy relationship stories. Or no, you're questioning whether or not they're creepy. Questioning whether or not these relationships, borderline creepy. So let's get the vectors here. Number one, adulterous relationship, age gap. Several years in the making, everybody's going behind each other's backs. Kids are involved. Husband is getting cucked the hell out. A divorce, publicly dating, marriage. Those are all the vectors that I would count. Those are 8 vectors. And then if they're gender flipped, is it any better or worse? BioCow says, started out a bad idea, but worked out in the end. I give it 6 out of 10. Beef Viper in the chat room says, what's creepy about it? The age difference and the adultery. You know, there is that. There is the adultery. Like, anytime you're going outside of the bonds of your marriage, even an unhealthy one, we can all agree that's less than ideal, right? Theoretically, you should be able to, you know, not lie to the people that theoretically you're supposed to be closest to. So there we go. Email me whether or not you think, is it Creeptober creeps on? You can go ahead and email me your borderline creepy relationship stories, JustinRobertYoung at gmail.com. Put JuRY in the subject line. Cavo. Right, this is probably a byproduct of the compression of time due to listening to your back-to-back podcast. However, I thought you'd find this interesting. On TMS, you mentioned something was no skin off your butthole, a follow-up response to Scott and Brian's talk. You mentioned that it would probably happen due to spicy Mexican food. Only a few hours later, you ate spicy Mexican food and would end up with a terrible poop story. So I guess that is skin off your butthole. Amazing email, Cavu. Thank you so much for listening. Mark writes, oh, how I understand your woes. I suggest you follow up on your recent advice and attend TwitchCon. Start by just going up and introducing yourself. Too late. Also, try not to spend too much time with folks you already know. Strike 2. And with them, leverage them as introduction to people that you want to meet. Strike 3. End result, the Twitch world will no longer be foreign to you, and when you leave the con, you can leverage those strengths into the world going forward. Anonymous Diamond writes, on the last show you mentioned a public park known for sex. Living in a big city, you definitely see and hear plenty of public sex, but the weirdest public sex I've ever seen was technically happening in somebody else's apartment. When first dating my now husband, he lived in the neighborhood with a concentration of gay bear bars that we ran into quite a few dudes getting and receiving blowjobs. No big deal most of the time. My guy would come home late and on the way see guys getting it on in the doorway or in an alley, but usually everybody just kind of ignored the passersby. One Sunday afternoon, I was going to visit him in his place when I heard sex sounds. This time, it was mostly a lady moaning, which was not what we normally heard in the neighborhood. It's pretty loud, but I didn't see anyone on the streets. After we go inside, I mention the lady's sex sounds and we peek through the blinds to see where it's coming from. We find the source of the moans. A topless or naked lady leaning out of her window, getting it on with somebody behind her. She leans out right at us while the thrusting continues. Suddenly, she looks over at us and yells, "I can see you spying on me." But she says it like she's enjoying it. And the bumps from behind keep happening as she is holding onto the window frame, boobs jiggling away, maintaining eye contact, which was super weird. We close the blinds and try to ignore the sounds as her and her sex partner finish. We never saw her again, thankfully, and we learned not to look the big city public sex unless you really want them to get off on watching you. This is an amazing story. This is so good. How often do you think she pulled that move? And also, when you are getting dogged out from the window, like, come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. You know you were out there trying to get people to look at you. TVC got in the chat. Don't look, Marion. Shut your eyes. Nick writes, my ex-wife grew up in Minnesota. I can confirm that the game should be called Duck, Duck, Gray Duck. I was the first person she knew out of state, and I had to break the news to her that she was wrong. Wisconsin superpowers the ability to be gerrymandered, and of course that creepy teacher that proposed immediately after graduating to the girl. Also, everybody that emailed me told me that story was creepy, so that's another a Creeptober story. The verdict rendered creepy. And finally, Brock in Kalamazoo said on your podcast a few weeks ago you wanted to know what superpower your state would have. Michigan's got a few. First, we got Faygo, the lovely pop. Yes, pop, not soda. That's been around since 1907. Euchre, a card game that's similar to Spades, but isn't all that the same. And we have what's called a Michigan left, which is like a roundabout at a normal intersection banged in Central Park and had a kid. Okay. There we go, folks. Again, if you would like to email us, it is justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. Again, justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. A few things to go over before we wrap things up. Of course, Stickers or DIAF is where you can get all your Diamond Club merchandise, but I'm going to let y'all know, we got a bunch of cool shit that we are going to have for Black Friday, Christmas season. bit.ly/stickers or DIAF. Again, bit.ly/stickers or DIAF is where you can be on that mailing list. You are going to know about it before anybody else notices it, and you're going to get the best deal of the season. But if you like Diamond Club merchandise, then you better get in there now if you're not already on the mailing list. bit.ly/stickers or DIAF. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat is all Justin R. Young. You can go ahead and get in on our Discord. Yes, Discord. If you're not familiar with Discord, it's a great chat app. They have apps on mobile, on desktop. It's on your website, but you can just chat with other people who dig this show and politics. Go ahead and do it by going to bit.ly/JURY Discord, DISCORD, all lowercase. And of course, you can hashtag join the conversation at diamondclub.reddit.com. Ladies and gentlemen, if you find yourself in an adulterous age gap relationship, if you find yourself questioning how to react to your friend's Me Too post, if you find yourself dating the Italian model that was the front of your catfish, remember, your old pal Justin Robert Young is here for you, reminding you to please don't.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.